Hello, I'm Antonio. I'm the founder of Real Men Real Style, and today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to go out there and buy a quality watch without getting ripped off. Guys, really quick, I'm going to start this off with a story. I was ripped off once, actually on 5 watches. I'm in Hong Kong almost a decade ago. They're on business, exploring the city, and I see all these watches out there. I get pulled into a back room. No, I didn't get mugged, but I kind of did because I spent $500 on 5 watches, which were fakes. And to this day, I've still got those watches. I've got a Breitling, got a couple of Rolexes, have this Louis Vuitton. And you know what? I never wear them because I violated a couple of my rules here. And really quick, those rules are: number 1, educate yourself. Number 2, understand what true value is. Number 3, make sure whenever you buy something, it has buyer protection. Point number 4 is make sure you understand the economics of pricing. And point number 5, have fun with whatever you buy. And if you look at all of those rules, I violate them whenever I purchased those watches in that back alley years ago. Let's get back to the points. Point number 1, I talked about educating yourself. Guys, there's no getting around it. You're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to learn more about watches. But it's not that hard. And believe me, there's a whole industry that is built around this because we love it. I mean, there's something about watches that makes them really cool. It's become collector's items. You hear people, their entire forums dedicated to this stuff. And immediately I'm thinking, websites to go check out, a blog to watch. You're going to want to go check out Worn and Wound. Watch You Seek is a pretty good forum. There's also brand specific watches. So if you look to purchase, Rolex or Breitling or some of these other ones, you can find very specific ones to that. And I'll talk about that at the end, why that's important. Time Zone is another great website. But you can also go to, tried and true websites, which I've talked about in the past. So go over to Art of Manliness, go check out Gentleman's Gazette, Primer Magazine. All of these guys are going to have an intro to watches. But you want to get excited about watches because there's a lot out there. You can even go to your local watch store, or maybe it's going to be a department store that sells watches. Speak with the guy working behind there. You may find yourself an expert, someone that you can talk with and engage with. Also, there's magazines out there. Some of you guys like to just get a magazine once a month. I would recommend if you find some good ones. And there's even an app out there. It's called Watchville, and they'll bring in all the information out there. The point is, guys, I want you to dive into this because when you are informed, when you have an understanding of what we're talking about, you're going to be able to make a much better decision. Point number 2 is value. And value why do I have this before pricing? Because I believe the true value of a watch is how often you wear it times how it makes you feel divided by the price. So price isn't the most important thing. I know some of you guys are on a budget. Most of us are on a budget actually. But the example I had here, these fakes. Now, how many times do you think I've worn this Rolex? 0. How much did I pay for it? $100. The way it makes me feel, number of wears, basically 0 divided by 100. This was a complete failure as a watch. Versus this one I got from the 5th, I feel really good about it. It's reasonably priced, about $100. It's a nice looking watch. I've already got compliments on it. So the value of this watch is much higher than all these fakes I've gotten. And that's what I want you to think about, because I would rather have you save up for the watch you want. Or when you go out there and purchase one, buy one that you're going to get a lot of wears out of. But make sure that you get value out of the watch that you own. So let's talk about point number 3, which is buyer protection. And this one's really important, especially when you're looking to buy a watch online. You want to make sure that you buy from a reputable buyer. You want to make sure that you buy from a reputable company. Those are 2 things which will have an effect. When you buy from a reputable buyer, if it gets damaged in shipping, if something happens where you get a defective watch, you can actually work with them to resolve the situation. When it comes to warranties, that's where having a manufacturer who stands behind what he builds is very important, because if it's a year in and you spent $1,000 or $500 on that watch, then you want to make sure you're getting the right item. Now, that brings us to point number 4, which is the price economics of watches. Now, understand some of these things are in their own world, but in general, price $250 and under, that's going to be consumer watches. These are like fashion watches, watches that you can purchase to go with an outfit to feel good about. If they break after a few years, you're not going to feel too bad. Maybe you will, but these are not big investment watches for most people that talk about watches. Now, under $1,000, we've got, we're going to start to see a lot of brands, higher end brands, and that's where you really want to be careful, because there are some great deals out there. There are some not great deals that are simply resting on their laurels and selling it because of the brand. Beyond and under, from $1,000 to $10,000, we start to get into luxury, and that's where you're going to start to see some very well-known names. You're going to see, Citizen, Breitling. This is where you want to make sure you're getting what you paid for. This is the world of luxury watches, and beyond $10,000. Ultra luxury watches. And guys, so what drives these prices? Oftentimes it's going to be exclusivity. It's going to be the material. Some of these watches have diamonds in them or are made from gold. All of these things have an effect. Also, the name and the heritage of the watch is going to have an effect. Now, I haven't really talked about heirloom watches, and that's for a whole nother video. I will say, guys, my stance on this is that watches are not an investment. Point number 5, and I think this one is probably the most important one. Buy something that you're going to enjoy and you're actually going to wear. So I've been wearing this watch from the Fifth Watches for a while, and my wife, I didn't tell her about it. She looked at it and she said, "Nice watch," and she looked at it and she complimented me on it, and we talked a little bit about it, and then she was surprised to hear the price was only $100. But that is, where you get great value. Is I don't normally wear a watch. In fact, getting into watches was something I wanted to do for a long time. So I'm enjoying it. I'm getting compliments. I'm going to wear it tonight to take my kids to dance, because it's a conversation starter. It's something you can have fun with, you can enjoy. Go, if you're going to buy a higher end watch like a Rolex or a Breitling, or go look at those forums. Go join the Citizen forum and have fun. Enjoy it. Treat it like, what it is. It's something that it's not just a functional piece, although that's a key component, but it's also a piece that you should enjoy and you should build and add into your wardrobe. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the 5 tips. Like all of the videos and information I put out here at Real Men Real Style, I'm going to link over to the article, which will go into more detail. And guys, if you go over to the article, you can also download that PDF, which I mentioned. But I would love to go over to Real Men Real Style. Send me an email. I want to make sure you get that free PDF, which I'm going to go into more detail. So more about the intricacies and all the hand details, the materials, the band, all of that stuff, so that you can make an informed purchasing decision. Take care, guys. See you in the next video.